The other day we did a Konosuba Fantastic Days top 5 DPS units list. Today we are doing a Konosuba Fantastic Days top 5 support healers list. So the reason that I say support healers is that there is another support that's generally considered a little bit better than the one that's 5th on the list. However, she is more of a support, less of a healer. The one that's number 5 on the list is more of a support healer. So we're going to go with support healers. Now, in the first one we did with the damage dealers, it was very much cut and dry. It's like, okay, this unit's better than this one is better than this one. Generally speaking, some are better for one area, some are better for another area. This one is a little bit different because we have different kind of support units. We have different kind of support healers. One is best in a physical team, the other one is best in a magic team. So it really depends on, like, you would not necessarily want to bring the number 1 on the list if it doesn't fit your team. So we're basically doing number 5, and then if you have a physical team, these two, and then you have a magical team, these two. So with that long explanation, let's get it started. Getting it started at number 5 on the list is Cottontail Cleric Cecily. So her default attack is a just earth damage. Her skill 2 is the heal, which is an AoE heal for your team and a minor defense buff. Her skill 3 is a single target bind for the enemy for 7 seconds. And then her skill 4 is an AoE damage dealing skill that decreases the enemy's defense. She's not the best support healer in the game, but to be honest, there's not too many 4-star support healers right now at this stage of the game. Just came out. So here's where we branch off into magic versus physical. So it's not a 4-3-2-1. It's a, if you're running a magic team, you use one of these two. If you're running a physical team, you use one of these two. So this is for magic team, Motherly Maiden Amy. She has got a first skill. Her default skill is just a wind damage, single target wind damage. Her second skill is an AoE, just a little bit of damage for an AoE, and also a physical, not a physical buff, a magic buff for your whole team. Her skill 3 is a single target damage and then also a heal for your team. And her last skill is a big heal for your team and also a big magic buff for your team. So this is going to be one of the units that you want to use if you're running a magic team. And the next support healer for magic based teams is Soother of Spirits Amy. She's very similar to Motherly Maiden Amy. She's got the default skill, never does anything exciting, right? It's an earth default skill. She's got a skill 4, which is the same basically. It does a big heal and it also does a magic power buff. Her skill 2 is different. Her skill 2 is an AoE heal and then also clears bind. And her skill 3 is also different as well. Her skill 3 is AoE damage, earth-based damage to the enemy team, and also buffs your magic defense. So they're fairly similar. The difference is, though, that the Motherly Maiden Amy has 2 different magic power buffs, and then this one has a magic power buff, magic attack buff, and a magic defense buff as well. So she just provides attack and defense. The other one provides attack and attack for the most part, and then this one also clears bind. Now we're on to the ones that work better with physical teams, although she actually does buff the magic attack as well. This is Axel Hearts Yellow. She's got a default skill, just does some lightning damage. Skill 2 is an AoE attack and also buffs your team's agility. Skill 3 is a single target attack and also does a little heal. And then skill 4, like I said, buffs your physical attack, buffs your magic attack, and an AoE big heal. I really like Cielo more than I thought I was going to, just in general, at the beginning of the game, because I remember I got 2 Cielos. I got one that I got a dupe, and I'm like, great, that's not the one I wanted. I'm like, no, realizing it after the fact, I'm like, I'm glad that I got that. And last but not least, again, another unit that works great with physical teams, although she does also buff magic attack as well, is Dancing Adventurous Yellow. So this is the one that I said I pulled the dupe of, and I was upset about it first, and then I realized how good she was. I'm like, oh, that's good that I pulled the dupe of her. So she is a wind unit. She does a little bit of wind damage, skill 1. She has an AoE heal and cleanse for haze on skill 2. Then she has for skill 3, it's an AoE damage against the enemies, and then also buffs your team's physical defense. And then for the skill 4, she has the same as the other one. It's a big heal, it's a physical attack buff, and it is also a magic attack buff. She is a fantastic unit. I really love these Cielos, man. I feel like the Cielos are the strongest support healers in the game right now. There are also other units that people are running with physical teams that do physical damage buffs, but I wanted to do this video talking about support healers instead of just support units that don't heal along with it. This way you have like the support skills of the physical damage buffs, and then the magic damage buffs, and then also some of the defense buffs as well for magic defense and physical defense, and then you also have the heals. So anyway, that's it for this one. Just my thoughts on the top 5 healers at the current state of the game. Of course, we're going to get a bunch of new units after that. And again, if you don't have some of these, you can use just 1 tier down of the 3 stars. Not like the casual and beginner ones, but just like the 1 tier down versions usually work pretty well until you get the 4-star versions. But anyway, that's it for this one. Hope you guys enjoyed it, and I'll see you as always in the next one.